Coming up next, ACORN, you know, the community organizers. They're responsible for submitting 90,000 voter registration forms in one county in Nevada alone. Great job, unless you notice that 25,000 were valid and voted in November. They're now facing criminal fraud charges. Oops. Next. That ACORN has policies requiring employees in Vegas to sign up to 20 new voters a day or be fired. Is that against the law? And if you turn in 21 or more new registrations, you get a blackjack. Is that against the law in Vegas? It's a bonus of $5 per shift. It is Vegas. ACORN is denying the allegations, and its national spokesperson has agreed to appear on this program tomorrow night. He's going to address the charges. But tonight we're joined by Nevada Secretary of State Ross Miller. Hello, sir. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Is it, I mean, can't they say, hey, you bring in 20 people or you're fired? Why is that against the law?
It's against the law in Nevada to pay individual registrants to register people based on the total number of people that you've registered. That's a Category E felony and was the basis for us filing a criminal complaint in conjunction with the Attorney General's office just yesterday.
Okay. You know, it's just like you evil Republicans to just go after because you're a sore loser.
The problem is I'm a Democrat, so we opened up this investigation in response to some complaints that we had that ACORN had turned in quite a number of fraudulent forms.
Well,
we executed a warrant.
That's Larry Lomax. He's got to be the guy who filed the complaint. He's probably an evil Republican.
Larry, to my knowledge, is nonpartisan. This is it didn't have anything to do with politics whatsoever. Obviously, we're just trying to send a strong message that we're not going to tolerate these types of fraudulent practices in the future.
Okay, I understand that there is ACORN is denying these. They're going to be on tomorrow, and I ain't a fan of ACORN. You might have caught that, but they're denying these charges. But is there such a thing as a handbook, an ACORN handbook that says these things?
When we executed the raid on the ACORN headquarters here in Las Vegas, we came across thousands of pages of documents, emails. Within those documents, we found their company policy directive that outlined for their employees the fact that they were required to meet certain quotas and that these employees were expected to turn in 20 registration forms per day, otherwise they'd be terminated. They also had in place a blackjack policy, as you mentioned, that gave bonuses if they met a certain quota. That's problematic because the individual field canvassers, they have an incentive to try to keep their job, and so they will go to lengths to try to submit fraudulent forms so that they can keep their job.
Okay. Here's ACORN's statement, or at least partial statement. The rest of it is on the website. This is the latest in an ongoing assault designed to blame the victim and prioritize media grandstanding above the pursuit of justice. That is really good. Our policy all along has been to pay workers at an hourly rate and not pay employees based on any bonus or any incentive program. It is unfortunate that the Secretary of State cannot distinguish the victim from the villain.
Well, obviously they're trying to shift the blame here, but they'll have their opportunity to explain their side in court. We think that the case is very strong. It's a very thorough investigation we've had for almost a year now in place, showing that they were compensating their individual canvassers based on the total number of people registered, which is a felony in this state. We filed 39 counts. I think they're going to have a difficult case to make to the 12 jurors that will ultimately hear this.
There were 91,000 new voters that they registered. 28,000 of them are duplicates? Is that right?
Those are the numbers provided by the Clark County Elections Department. That's what happens when you pay canvassers to go out there and their jobs are dependent upon them turning in a number of forms. They're going to go back to the same people so that they can meet the quota.
Look, you know what? We did some of our homework. The Republicans, I mean, they ain't no ACORN, but what is it? The young political majors, their GOP out in California, they've gotten snagged doing stuff like this. The Voters Outreach of America in 2004 in Oregon, they got snagged on the right, on the Republican side, doing this. But here's the difference. ACORN is receiving $10 million in federal grants just last year, and they're slated to get even more stimulus money. These people are deeply in bed with the power in Washington and are getting all kinds of money for this kind of stuff. Do you have, if you had one question, sir, to ask the guy from ACORN tomorrow? Well, no, I can't ask you on the air. I'd have to ask you off the air because it'd give him time to think about it and come up with a really good answer. Ross, when does this go to court?
Well, we filed the criminal complaint just yesterday, so the court will set a date and then thereafter a preliminary hearing and ultimately a trial date.
I have to tell you, sir, when I saw this story, I immediately asked if you were a Republican or a Democrat. When I heard you were a Democrat, congratulations. Thank you very much, sir, for just standing up for what's right, no matter which party or which side it falls on. Just do the right thing and apply the law equally. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.